Hey, it's Jason. I'm here in the Speak Up, Get Results broadcast studio with another exactly what to do. Okay, I do a lot of work on radio and for podcasts. I've gotten pretty good in over 100 shows in the last couple of years as a producer, an editor, a writer, and a radio show host. And I brought that on the road. What I do is at congresses and events where we see this a lot more often. I actually host podcasts and then output all of that good stuff. And I'm starting to understand what you need to do to make a good podcast. First thing you need to do, have an idea. Don't just throw somebody on and start interviewing them. You want to really become appointment content. Why should people listen to your show? This is why genres in public podcasts like, This American Life, which is a storytelling podcast, or a true crime podcast like Serial, or an interview podcast like The Knowledge Project, they know what they are. They know what kind of show they are. They know what they stand for. I know that the Playbook, the show that I run on SUGR 960 in Toronto, it's an interview show based on professional development skills. So there's the first thing. Understand what the show is and what it is about. And then start finding guests, people with original takes on what to talk about. If you're going to do a podcast at your event and you want to take somebody like a sponsor, find that original hook and then develop essentially a script, not a word for word script. We don't want to get into that, but you want to set the boundaries. I call them script shells, and I furnish every single one of my guests with one of these so they know where I'm going. And when they know where I'm going, we get that opportunity to move somewhere. In fact, I will go so far as to rehearse a little bit and to meet with my guests beforehand. Even just a 10 or 15-minute conversation, it makes you sound credible. Next thing you need to do, invest in some decent equipment. And if there's one piece of decent equipment you need to go out and buy right now, like yesterday, it's a good microphone. A microphone will let you sound incredible on Zoom calls, on team calls, all that sort of stuff. But of course, as you produce your podcast or your radio show, I also use Riverside.fm, and I use a couple of AI tools to help edit out ums and ahs that I see with some of my guests. I also have a podcast board called the Rode Podcaster Pro, or the Rode something Pro. And it's a board that allows me to record. Ultimately, when you have the right equipment, you can sound like you're in a studio, even if you're on a trade show floor. Last thing, invest in a music service. Yeah, that's right. And maybe invest in something like Buzzsprout, which will give you a place to house all of this sort of stuff. There's a lot to think about when you get together with a great podcast. But if you start with that idea of understanding what you're about, you move on and you get into that script shell where you're going to get to rehearse, and then you get the right equipment, well, you're en route to creating the sort of content that will develop community in your pre-event or in your post-event. Hey, want to learn more about podcasting? All the shows, all 100 shows are available actually at speakupgetresults.com. There's a whole bunch of other great stuff if you come and check that out. And hey, if you want to put podcasts at your own event, give us a call, because we can create some of the most interesting and compelling content that you have ever seen. And now, there you have it. Come join us at speakupgetresults.com. All right.